Hello, I'm Chef Don McMillan. Hello, I'm Chef Don McMillan, and today we're going to learn how to bone out chicken breasts as well as to turn it into a delicious chicken scallopini. Well, here's how we do it. So what I have here is a chicken breast. As you can see, the bones are still in there, and these are going to be important to us because later we're going to learn how to make a wonderful chicken stock. But first we need to remove the bones from them, and it's very simple to do that. You have a boning knife or a fillet knife, and you just insert right there, and wherever the rib cage is, you just scrape the meat away from the rib cage, just like this. Don't be afraid of leaving some of that meat in there because I don't think you can get every bit of it out, and it won't really matter because we'll use it for our stock anyway. But we want to get the most of the muscle out of there. So as you can see, there's quite a bit of bone left, and since we paid for that, I think we should get our money's worth, and we'll show you how to make a delicious chicken stock. But first, let's continue with our boning process. Okay, for this, we won't need the skin, but we will reserve that again for our chicken stock and remove that. And you'll notice that there is a chicken tender in the middle of this. And the chicken tender is sometimes called a chicken finger. So with that, you can remove this little tendon that is in there by very simply putting the knife flat and then just pulling on the tendon, and it will come right out. Just like that, see? And we'll use, actually, that, and there's our chicken breast. So let's go ahead and remove some of the visual fat. And let's go ahead and bone out the rest of these because we will need these bones for our wonderful chicken stock. So just using that part of the knife, just the tip of the knife, you're actually going to just remove the meat from the rib cage. Okay, and then turn it over while we get the tenderloin out. Turn it over and remove the skin, which again gives wonderful flavor to our stock. There's nothing like really good stock to flavor your dish. In fact, after we make our stock, we're going to make a wonderful rice pilaf. Well, look at this. Our chicken breasts are all boned out beautifully, and we're going to pound them out. But first of all, I want to remove the cutting board and the knife, and we're going to reserve our chicken bones for our stock, which we'll do in just a little bit. So while I remove that, I'm going to wash my hands and come right back, because you always want to wash anything that comes in contact with raw chicken. This way we don't have any cross-contamination. Well, I've got my handy little device called Pound It Out. Of course, you could use some plastic wrap if you wish, but we're going to go ahead and place our chicken breast right in the Pound It Out, and this will enable us to flatten out our chicken breast so it'll be more of a scallopini. And let's see, we'll get our tenderloins in there as well. And it works very simply like that. Just hold it with your pounder and okay, let's see how they look. Okay, these are fine here, and I think this one's nice and flat. Let's just pound these a little bit more. Good. Okay, so now that we've flattened out our chicken breast, and by the way, this works equally well with pork or veal, we then want to go ahead and season them. Well, now that our chicken breasts are sufficiently pounded out, we want to go ahead and season them. And what I'm going to do this is just with a little bit of salt and pepper. That's it, just basic seasonings that everybody has at home. Little salt, little pepper, little black pepper, and then a little bit of salt. Usually when I'm coating food with, say, flour, I do like to put a small amount of salt on it because then the salt would be inside the coating as opposed to outside of it. And you get a better flavor profile when doing that. Okay, so now we have some oil in our pan, and it could be peanut oil, canola oil. This is canola oil. or even olive oil if you prefer. And we just want to get the oil hot enough so that it's a medium high. We put the chicken in the flour and then just put one in there, and see now it's starting to sizzle, so we know that the oil is hot. So we're going to do that. These are remember our chicken tenders that we had pounded out. The reasoning for putting flour on that is so that it develops a nice crust. It also keeps in the moisture, because all food has moisture in them. And also, it adds to the flavor. You think about fried chicken being very flavorful, well, that has a lot to do with the starch that's on the outside of it, as well as the wonderful flavor on the inside. And since we took the skin off of the chicken, we removed part of that flavor profile, so therefore we needed to go ahead and replace it with something. And notice how nice and thin our chicken breast is. So it's going to cook up quickly. One problem we have here in America is that we cook chicken much too quickly, and therefore it becomes overcooked, and the moisture that's naturally in the chicken is now left in the pan. So we want, of course, to keep all the flavor that we possibly can. Well, our chicken now is done. So we have these wonderful chicken fillets and chicken pounded out, boneless, skinless breast, and it's ready to be added your favorite sauce, or very simple, just squeeze a little bit of lemon and put some capers on it, and you have the deal. So this is how we do our chicken scallopini.